What's everybody, buddy? Good to see you on this Monday evening. This is the first time I've ever done Get Creative on a Monday evening. Most of the time I've been doing Get Creative on Sunday evenings. And so let me know how you feel about it. Thinking about changing up the time. I felt so bad looking at the time frame I was doing. It was Sunday night, 7 p.m. And if you were East Coast, you were tuning in at literally 10 p.m., 10 o'clock at night to join and talk about creative finance. So today, whatever questions you guys have about creative finance, let's get into it. Let's have a conversation. I'm going to predict this, and I've been talking about this for about 5 years. Starting now up until about 2027, creative finance will be the dominant strategy. Write this down, take notes, share this with your friends. The BRRRR strategy is dead. Literally 1/100th of the transaction that were working before are now working with traditional real estate. Traditional real estate is dead. Now, can you do wholesale? Can you do fix and flip? Yes, you absolutely can. There's a lot of people doing it. The market's not done going down. It's just not done going down. The interest rates will go up again. Bernanke says they're going to pause interest rate hikes for a couple of months, see how things go. But we already know what's going to happen. Inflation is continually going. Things are continually getting better, actually, for the economy in terms of unemployment is actually going down. Things are looking good for the economy. And so what does Bernanke have to do? Okay. Or I'm sorry, Jerome Powell. What does Jerome Powell have to do? He has to raise rates. Good to see everybody. He has to raise rates. Rates have to be raised. Here we go. Amy says, what's the best way to help elderly seller defer or avoid capital gains? Oh, this is a great question. You know what we'll do tonight? Here's what we'll do, Amy. Why don't we take the, go to the side chat, and I will give you guys the link to join the backstage, and we'll actually have a conversation. So Amy Van Slambrook, that actually sounds like a superhero name. Amy Van Slambrook, like she's going to slam you. Come in here. I just put the link in the side chat, StreamYard.com, with a bunch of the numbers and all the weird stuff. Yes, come in and hang out. Anybody? Come on, Jasper. Come on. I would love to have Amy come in here and chat with me so I can actually answer that question for you, okay? There's a couple answers to that, and I'd love to get into the deep of that. Carly says, do you think rates will come down for the election? I don't think so. I think what we run the risk of, actually, I was texting Patrick Bet-David this morning, and he's been talking about a reverse crash, which is something that's happened about 20 different countries in the past. And what is a reverse crash? A reverse crash is when the inflation continues to go up and housing and all this stuff goes crazy high, and they're chasing it with interest rates, trying to raise it. If they lower the rates right now, imagine if they lower the rates. What would happen to the economy? Do you think housing would go up or down? By the way, Amy, the only person I'm trying to get into the backstage, I've got one of my best friends, Eddie Charger, back here, but I'm really trying to get Amy back here. So Amy, please get your buns back here. I'll give you the link one more time. Okay. The link is in the side chat. I'd love to chat with Amy specifically about her question, whatever questions you guys have. Now, here, let me tell you something as well. I've got people in the back. I can see you. Gloria Lynn, Keith Charette, Brandon Edmondson, okay? Alonzo Jackson. You guys better have a question. I know Eddie Charger will have a question. He'll have something to talk about. But the other people, if I call on you and you come up here and you go, oh, I didn't have a question, I just didn't know what the link was, I will karate chop you. Okay? Amy, get up here. Click on the link. Get up here so we can have that conversation, please. So what would happen? What would happen if interest rates go from 8.25% down to, let's say, 6%? What do you guys think would happen to the economy? Prices of houses are going to skyrocket. For the people that actually own real estate, she's not locked out. I just saw her. She's in a red room. It looks like she's developing camera equipment.
I have red light therapy.
Oh, you have therapy. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Amy, do you have a seller currently that you want to avoid capital gains?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a great question. Okay. Inside of SubTo, I've answered this question with attorneys and spent 3-4 hours on it. So happy to answer this here in a 5-minute thing to try and condense that as much as possible. But let's go through it for a minute. What does seller finance or subject to do in terms of avoiding capital gains tax? A couple of things. Okay. There's 2 ways to do this. First way is through creative finance, and I'll be specific about that in a second. And the second way is through a trust. Okay. There are trusts that cost significant amounts of money. So if you have a seller, write this down for people who are taking notes. If you have a seller that's selling a portfolio of single family homes and they're willing to do all on seller finance. If you have a seller that's selling a large apartment complex and they want to do it on seller finance. If you have a seller that's doing a large asset that they want to sell to you and they want to avoid all capital gains tax, there's a very specific trust that I've spoken about inside of the SubTo community. Here's the challenge, Amy. That trust costs $40,000. Okay. Well, let's do the math on that for a second. I'm gonna keep you on here and have you hang out with me for a little bit. So just hang tight.
Thank you.
And whatever questions you have that are follow-ups, we'll keep it going. Okay. So check this out. If I've got a seller that wants to sell I don't know, let's say they've got a $10 million portfolio. This happens frequently. And they bought this series of properties. Let's put a bunch of houses here because it's like times 100, right? Let's say they have 100 houses at $10 million and they want to sell this. But they bought this bundle of houses for $5.5 million about 4 years ago. That's what their original price was. It's now worth $10,000. How much are they going to be taxed on, everybody? How much will they be taxed on? Amy, are you here with me?
Yes, 250,000 of it.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Above 250. What am I saying? It's the end of the long day.
Above 250.
Yes.
But which is how much in this scenario? They are selling it for this. Here's their green, the price they're buying it for. What they originally bought it for was $5.5 million. So what will they be taxed on? What dollar amount?
It'll be 4.250000.
Okay, so let's just call it $4.5 million just so we don't scramble people's brains with the 250 rule, okay? So they're going to be taxed on $4.5 million. Okay? And if they're being taxed on $4.5 million and the capital gains tax is, let's say, 40%, how much money will that seller pay if they sell their property to me for $10 million? Now, they on paper made $4.5 million, right? So how much will they pay if they have a taxable burden of $4.5 million? That's their gain. That's how much they made in that time frame. Uncle Sam's going to have his hand out saying, I want my portion. Now, Heather Torres, one of my favorite people on the planet, she says, yeah, it makes sense to do the trust for $40,000. Okay. There you go. That is what they would pay. They would pay $1.8 million in capital gains tax on that sale if they sell it to you for cash. This is why creative finance is dominant. It does not matter what the economy is doing, and I want you guys to remember this. I want you to write this down. Some people will trick you that creative finance is hot right now. Guys, of course creative finance is hot right now because our community is dominating. I get that. But the reality is creative finance is always dominant for me. Before SubTo community even launched, I was known as the SubTo guy. It's all I was doing. Why? Is because when you understand how taxes hurt the seller in a cash transaction, you would actually ask yourself this question. Instead of asking why the seller would do creative finance, you would ask yourself, why would the seller not do creative finance? Let's go through it. Okay, Amy, you're asking the question. Let me break it down for you. So if they sell it cash, Amy, how much money are they going to pay in taxes?
With my deal?
No, we'll go back to your deal in a minute.
Okay.
I just circled it. On my deal that I gave as an example.
1.8 million.
That's a cash transaction. They're going to pay $1.8 million. Guess what else they're going to pay? They're going to pay commissions. They're going to pay closing costs. They're going to pay maybe improvements to get it up to that $10 million price, right? So their walk away, this is their gain, their walk away will be less than, okay, I'm sorry, less than $2 million, even though they made $4.5 million on the gain. Do you see why the capital gains question is so important, everybody? Okay. Does everybody see why the capital gains question is so critically important? Okay. Anthony Johnson says, so they have to find $1.8 million in write-offs. Good luck. Because most of the sellers that are selling these large assets are selling to you in the quiet portion of their life where they don't have the ability to find those types of things. When I'm standing in the river, fishing is really easy. But if I'm 100 yards away from the river, which means my business, I'm no longer actively involved in business, finding $1.8 million in tax advantages, there you go. So Investor Queen Marine says 1031 exchange. Write this down. A 1031 exchange is anything but retirement. What they're doing is they're saying, man, all I want to do is I want to sell this property and I want to retire. Guys, here's another thing for you. Nobody in their right mind wants to own real estate for the rest of their life. At some point, you want to retire. You don't want to deal with property management. You want to extract all the cash that came from these assets through a cash out refinance, maybe donate your properties to a charity and move on. Okay. A 1031 is for active investors. Julie Burkhart, one of my private money lenders, and she's one of my partners on a $20 million asset. Julie Burkhart is a special human being. Julie Burkhart, I would say, is more heading towards the retirement of her life. She's trying to look for easier ways to make money, not saying, let me sell this to upgrade to a larger thing, because what else does a 1031 exchange require? A 1031 exchange requires a larger asset for me to roll into. I can't just go from a $10 million deal and roll into another $10 million deal. I have, yes, there you go. Angie Milanazzo says, so are you talking about Sean Cannell from Think Media? Yes, you are talking to the one and only Heather Torres, who used to run that entire company. She is an amazing human being and a SubTo community member. We love her. She's awesome. Okay. So a 1031 does not kick the can down the road. Write this down. A 1031 requires you to exchange the can you have for a larger can. A 1031 is only for active investors, and I want you to write that down. It's something that I tell sellers all the time. When a seller says, well, I could do a 1031 and I could kick the can down the road, and I said, you're not kicking the can down the road, sir. You're taking the can you have right now, which you hate, and upgrading it to a larger, heavier can, which you're going to despise. You have to understand the mindset of these sellers and what they're going through, okay? D.A. Hodkin says it has to be like for like. Like for like is pretty interesting because like for like.
The Wi-Fi got really unstable, so I'm here. I moved
okay, no problem. So,
yep.
So we've covered a lot here. Okay, so
yes.
Let me go back to this example so we can go back to you. All right. All right. So we could do a 1031 exchange, but is that what most sellers are trying to do? I can tell you, Amy, right now, her seller does not want to do a 1031 exchange. Her seller has an investment property, and it sounds like she's probably an older lady who's trying to get out of the business and retire. Is that correct?
Actually, this is her primary because I explored a 1031 exchange.
Okay, so she doesn't have capital gains tax since it is her primary.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. If you've lived in the property for over 2 years, you will not have a capital gains tax at all.
Oh, this is so exciting for her and her family. Oh my gosh. This is really exciting.
Honestly, I forget how much I know. This is crazy. So let's go. Number one, if the seller has lived in the property for 2+ years, there is no capital gains tax. Okay. No tax. If the seller wants to do a 1031 exchange, there's also no tax today. Okay. The problem with the 1031 is that you're not allowing the seller. Okay. You're not allowing the seller to actually retire. Number three, you can do creative finance. So let's talk about how creative finance can actually help the seller mitigate their tax liability. If a seller has a single family home, let's say, that they bought for $150,000. 10 years later, that property has doubled, which is typical for most houses in the world. They double every 10 years or so. That seller has a taxable gain of $150,000, and that would be called a capital gain. Okay. They have made $150,000 sitting on that property and it appreciating. Okay. So here we are. This is a problem. I've got $150,000 that I have that will be taxable at a capital gains tax of roughly 40%. Okay. Depending on your tax bracket. So that means if the seller sells to me on cash, let's do a cash scenario here. One, what is the average cost? Okay. What is the average cost to sell a house? If I hire a real estate agent, if I'm the seller, I am paying both agents. And I know about the NAR lawsuit. We've talked about it in multiple trainings. But right now, you're still paying roughly 6% to both agents. Okay, 3%, 3%. And you're paying another 4% closing costs and other repairs. It's 10%. It costs 10% to sell a house. Okay. So if a seller sells a house to me on cash for $300,000, they're going to pay $30,000 to one agent, another agent, escrow officer, loan person, repair person, blah, 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 blah. All these things are going to eat up $30,000 for the seller to sell the property. Okay. All right. So now that leaves the seller with $270,000. So now the seller is going to have, all right, now I've got $120,000 gain. Now tax that at 40% capital gains. What is that? That is $48,000 is going to Uncle Sam right out of the gate the day I sell the property. So at the end of the day, the seller who made $150,000 in equity growth will actually walk away after they pay their $30,000 sales cost and they pay their $48,000 capital gains tax. That seller is going to walk away with, what is that number? That is 70, let's see, 48, 120, $72,000. Is that correct? Yep, $72,000. That seller's going to walk away with $72,000. So you see how $150,000 in gain actually very quickly goes to $72,000. Guys, this is how cash transactions work. If I'm the seller, why would I ever do that? Why? And people say, why would a seller sell to you on SubTo or seller finance? I just showed you. They're getting literally $78,000 more dollars selling to me than they would through a traditional method. It doesn't make sense for a seller to sell without creative finance unless they need the money immediately for another thing. Okay? Financially, it is a horrible decision. Okay? So what I would do, and this is what I would propose instead, is that same seller has a house for $300,000. I would go to that seller and I'd say, hey, seller, how about this? I'll actually do a deal with you where I will pay you $300,000. Actually, check this out. I will pay you $300,000 at 3% interest. Okay. Watch how great this is. Let's do a little training for you guys. Oh my gosh, I could sit on here all day long. I just love talking this stuff. All right. So let's go to the bank rate calculator. Bank rate mortgage calculator. I know, guys, I got to show you the thing and I got to share it with you. I got to pull it up first. So just relax. Just relax. We're going to get there in just a second. Okay, cool. So here we go. Mortgage calculator. Let's do mortgage down payment. No, I don't want that. I want this one. Mortgage calculator. Boom. All right, this is the one. I love this one. I'll give you guys this link so you guys can use this. It's really basic. I train the SubTo students on this a lot. It's just very simple. Okay, there's the link to this. And I'll do full screen so you guys can see this. All right, So if I do a seller finance deal with the seller, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do home price, $300,000. I'm going to do a $0 down payment because I'm giving the seller the number they want. I'm going to do a 30-year term, and I'm going to ask my seller, my average seller finance deal is 3%, and I'll do 85282. Okay, that's kind of the area where I primarily office and all that kind of stuff. Okay, they're saying, oh my gosh, you can't put zero down. They're like, that's not possible unless you take Pace's education. Okay, Tempe, yeah, we got it. Got it. I'm choosing Tempe, knucklehead. Perfect. Oh, they're trying to do like mortgage rates. It's idiots. Okay, so zero. No. They tried to mess it up. $300,000. 0%. 30 years, 3% rate. Okay, cool. So check this out. Here's what I want you guys to look at. This is my payment to the seller. This is property taxes. This is insurance. This is everything. All right. So my payment to the seller is going to receive $1,264 a month for seller financing that deal to me. But watch this. The seller will end up receiving $455,513. That's mean. All right. So check this out. Their first that they seller finance to me is $750. Okay, guys, so sorry. My computer decided to just quit on me for a second. Hold on just a second. This is silly. Super silly. Sometimes you just got to fix stuff. I'm so sorry, guys. So the question you got to ask yourself is why sorry, guys, I have somebody building a new studio to the side and they're messing with like all the cords and all that kind of stuff. So we've been having all sorts of issues. So thank you for being patient. So ask yourself this question. If a seller will receive on the same transaction, if they add 3% interest on this deal, they actually sell the property to me over time for $455,000. They won't just receive their $300,000, which is $78,000 more than what they would have sold it on cash, but they also get the difference for between here and here. They will get $155,000 in interest plus $78,000 that they otherwise would not have received. They will end up getting $233,000 in additional capital by selling to me on Creative Finance. So ask yourself this question. Why would a seller sell to you on cash? Why? Why would a seller? And if I'm a wholesaler, this is why wholesaling is so challenging. Wholesaling does work. We wholesale a good amount, but I would rather wholesale a Creative Finance deal all day long. Okay. And the reason being is because the seller is going to receive $233,000. Now, Big Brad Dad says, well, they need immediate funds. This is where negotiating and conversations with sellers actually comes in play. Big Brad Dad. A lot of the sellers that I chat with, they go, well, I'd like my money now. And I go, great. For what? And they go, I want to invest in something. I go, well, what are you going to invest in that's going to make you $233,000 or more? And they go, I don't know. I go, well, I can guarantee you that this property that you sell or finance to me is going to make you an extra $233,000 than the other cash that you would deploy into something else. So you'll get sellers to go, well, I'd really like to invest in something else. Perfect. What's safer than a property you already know, you've maybe even lived in? What's safer than a property that you're secure against, right? Your agreement is actually leaned against the property. Where are you going to get a better return? And their answer 99% of the time is, I won't. I go, okay, then why wouldn't you just invest in me? If you're a bank, just invest in me. I'll be your borrower. Eddie Charger, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great, bro. How are you, man?
I'm really good, man. We're going to be doing a big party in Atlanta in April. I just talked about this about a week ago, and I haven't seen you for a bit. So we're going to be doing a big party for the community in April in Atlanta, Georgia. I've got Big Boy committed to coming out and hanging out with us. So it's going to be a great party, and he's going to perform for us. So it should be fun. I imagine you'll be helping me MC the event or doing something, right?
Absolutely. Take care of the whole thing for you. You don't got to do anything.
Well, we got a team that'll do it. I'll just have you be the MC. It'll be great.
Listen, I love that. I got a deal that I actually just got today. It's funny, this whole topic came up because this seller, she has a $6 million property that she wants to sell. She had it listed. Of course, she's not getting what she wants on market for it. And creative finance is the only thing that can help her out, especially because she's definitely afraid of what she's going to have to pay in taxes.
How far are you in the conversation?
I just got the lead today. We just said, hello, hi, nice to meet you. So working out the numbers on it. But I've been trying to get Pace and his whole family to move here for like the last 3 years. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It's a single family home?
Single family home, 6 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, 7 baths. It's huge. It's actually 2 different properties.
Wow. Is it too late? Is it too late to talk to her, or you've already teed her up for another conversation later?
I teed her up. I mean, if you want me to give you the alley-oop, I would love to see that work.
I'm making calls for the students on Thursday night at 5 p.m. if you want to bring her to me but that'll be 7 o'clock your time. So that's probably a better fit than 9 o'clock your time right now.
Yeah, but we can make it work.
Do you want to tee her up for Thursday night, 5 p.m.? I'll give her a call. Thursday night, 5 p.m. Arizona time, 7 o'clock Atlanta time. And I could call her right at the very beginning, and I could help you work out that deal.
Okay. Sounds good.
I love it. Let me just hang out with me for a little bit. Let's answer some questions. So Mario Dido says, so the seller doesn't pay tax on this scenario on the $233,000 in gains. Yes, they do. However, Maria, if you spread out your gains over a longer period of time, you then can find appropriate tax write-offs on those years to basically wash out those gains. If you have all those gains in 1 year, according to the example we talked about earlier, let's say you have a $1.8 million gain in 1 year. How is a normal human being that's not in real estate going to find $1.8 million in write-offs? Okay. So yes, especially if you're a regular human being and you have write-offs every single year that you can basically wash against your gains, it's better to stretch out your gains over a longer period of time because of that exact situation. Okay. Yep. This is a fun fact. Sam Singh says, fun fact, 6 million is the minimum price point that Eddie Charger plays at.
This is true.
Yeah, Miguel is asking a question. He's saying, hey, is there a Zoom for this? Sometimes I do a Zoom with the SubTo community. If I'm doing like a non-creative finance Zoom with my community, I will stream it live onto YouTube, even though I'm in a Zoom. Right now, I'm actually live on YouTube, and I'm streaming to YouTube and a couple of Facebook groups that we have, okay? Here we go. Check this out. Stacy Hammond says, 20 acres, 330. Actually, let me answer this question real quick. Okay, Eddie knows this, so I'm not teaching this to Eddie, but let's do a little screen share with everybody for a second, okay? If you are new to SubTo, here's what I want you to know. I want you to know something about getting help on a daily basis, Okay. And I should start every single Zoom this way, but I can't, sadly. My people would just get sick of me. Or at every YouTube live this way, people would get sick of me and be like, okay, Pace, we've heard it. We've heard it. We've heard it. So, oh my gosh, people are so annoying. This was me. Yes, leave me alone. Say browser. Sorry, I hardly ever come into Facebook on this computer, so it's like I got to go through all these things. This is the problem with doing live production. All right, here we go. It's letting me into the thing. Give me just a second. All right, so if you are in the SubTo community, let's talk about where I can get help on a live Zoom. It's kind of crazy, actually. But I want to highlight this because sometimes people just join like a day ago and they haven't paid attention to this. Guys, do you see all these green Zooms? All these green blocks. There are 31 live Zooms every single week for SubTo. Every single week. 31. Let's count them up. I think we have 31 on here today or this week. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 39 weekly Zooms inside of SubTo. The first Zooms of the morning, right here, called Daily Dial, and West Coast and East Coast Daily Dial is mostly role playing, hot seats, meaning that you get one-on-ones with the leaders inside of SubTo. People will underwrite your deals. They'll do creative finance role play, cash role play. They'll do all the things in these first 4 hours of the morning, 5 a.m. all the way until typically 7 p.m. Then we've got right here, this little block right here is all about generating leads, okay? 2 hours every day talking about generating leads, cold calling live, calling agents live. We've got Landon Moore and his partners. We've got Shad. We've got Kevin and Chris that do an amazing job over there. And then we've got Abraham. Then, guys, every single day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week, I have an employee inside of SubTo. His name is Bo. I pay him $15,000 a month. $15,000 a month to underwrite deals all day, every day for SubTo community. Okay, so if you're like, I need somebody to look at a deal. Okay, well, if you're a SubTo student, then go in and get help 2 hours every day live, and then you can email him. You guys know his email. It's in SubTo. We have virtual office hours where people are literally running their businesses live. If you're a new person, you've got Q&A. If you need a virtual meetup where you're like, I want to meet more students and I want to connect with more people, perfect. We got that too. Tomorrow from 5 to 7, I'm actually going to be calling businesses with creative finance and locking those up. I've got 3 businesses I'm trying to lock up this week with creative finance. One of them is a $3 million trucking business. 2 of them are air conditioning companies brought to me by a SubTo community member. And then you've got the nightly dial with Dan Quijano, where he calls your leads 3 nights a week. You've got Alejandro Alvarez on Saturdays doing call calibrations. You've got speed dating on Saturday where we call it friends with benefits. It's SubTo speed dating. You can meet other people. And then you've got 2 Zooms every week. Okay. Top tier and Saturday are teaching transaction coordination. Literally 39 Zooms a week. So if you are a SubTo community member, this that we're doing right now on Get Creative, this is a free YouTube live that I give to everybody because we love them and we want to help the free community. But I can tell you, out of 650 people hanging with us tonight, probably 200 or 300 of them are not SubTo community members. And so they'll come in and this is the majority of the help they get. Guys, imagine doing 39 Zooms on a weekly basis and then having somebody organize those Zooms into a vault that you can go into and have access to the training. We call it the SubTo Vault. It is insane. Okay.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Now, Eddie Chargers ran a bunch of those Zooms. Eddie Charger runs a meetup in Atlanta, Georgia. But here's the coolest part about SubTo is the local meetups and being able to get help from people like Eddie Charger and do deals with people like Eddie Charger. Bring freaking deals to Eddie Charger. He'll help you get those deals done.
Absolutely.
Okay? So iSpy says the vault blew my mind. We've been building it for 3.5 years. And it's not me. At this point, I'm doing probably 20% of the Zooms. The rest of the community is doing 80% of the Zooms. Landon Moore being one of those great leaders that is running the Closers Cafe on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Huge.
Yeah.
Alex Aguilar says, Eddie has been a huge freaking help.
What's up, Alex?
Okay. Alex Salazar also says, I'm not going to lie. New Reach sends me the money for people I've referred. I love New Reach. So guys, if you're a SubTo community member and you're not referring people, please get with Alex Salazar. He'll tell you how he's getting paid to refer people to SubTo. I don't get paid on it, but y'all do. New Reach collects the money. New Reach gets paid. It's not my money. They used to pay you guys like a $400 fee. And I told them, I was like, guys, double that. Like, give people the love. So that's cool. Alex Salazar, thanks for telling me that. We are in Gator and TTC and our calendar is full. Yeah, I love it. So same thing with Gator. Gator has like 9 Zooms a week, and then top tier transaction coordination, I think they do 5 or 6. Mm-hmm. At some point, as there's more and more leadership inside of Gator and there's more and more leadership inside of top tier, a lot of those leaders will step up and run some of those Zooms on a weekly basis as well. Okay. Jamar says, bro, the course is bullshit. It is nothing there. Thank you, Jamar. I appreciate you. I don't have a course. I tell people like, hey, the course that we have in SubTo is like a warm up to what we actually have. Pretty freaking cool. Thank you, Jamar. I actually want to leave that up for a couple minutes. I appreciate that comment. Thank you so much. There's always one person that's ultra ignorant. Okay. There are far better people who teach you SubTo. Do not join his course. You will get scammed. You will be disappointed. How do you get scammed in SubTo? Could you imagine, Eddie, what he's talking about?
I do actually, because I've been hearing it a lot. And to be honest with you, Pace, I'm glad we're bringing this up because it's true. Like, you kind of said you were going to teach people SubTo, and in reality, what you did is you taught us the importance of community. You taught us how to make money with people inside of SubTo and how to help people. You taught us what being a true go-giver is like. And then on top of that, you taught us every aspect of not just real estate, but every aspect of being creative, whether that's buying businesses, cars, airplanes. Like, you misled us. I thought I was getting how to buy houses in SubTo, and you went above and beyond that. So technically, by his definition, that is a scam. You over-delivered.
No, I love it. That's good. You got it. You got to love it. I was like, where's Eddie going with this? That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I mean, it's
true, man.
It's the greatest thing I've ever been a part of, personally. It absolutely is the greatest thing I've ever been a part of. I'm super proud of it. By the way, accredited investors in the SubTo fund were all flying into Arizona this week. Julie Burkhart says, I've been scammed. Julie Burkhart is actually flying into Julie, are you flying or coming to the real estate investment meetup at our $20 million asset we just closed on? Julie is a partner of mine at the in the SubTo fund. And we have a party on the 18th, but I'm wondering if she's going to be in Arizona or if she's going to be in Idaho and she's not going to be able to make it. Olga says the best mentorship and community out there. Yeah. Veronica says maybe he's playing. He just texted me and says he's playing. So it just popped up on my cell. So he's just joking. I was like, what is this guy talking about? Okay. Let's see here. SubTo is the best thing. Okay, cool. Guys, what questions do we have tonight? You guys want to hear about Gator 3.0? We're about to release Gator 3.0 to all the Gators. Gator 3.0 is exciting. So what we've done is we've just launched Zero Down, which is the free business buying education inside of SubTo. So if you're in the SubTo community, you get Zero Down for free. So we're doing, my CFO's in there underwriting businesses. I'm calling sellers live. We've got the businesses that we've bought with Creative Finance, and we're just teaching all the business buying Creative Finance stuff. And so simultaneously inside of Gator, we're teaching Gators how to go and fund businesses. We have brought a literal billionaire to the table, a guy that I pay a good amount of money to mentor me in developing businesses. And he's coming into Gator to teach people how he made $1 billion. It was all through funding businesses with Creative Finance. So where he made his niche specifically is he made his niche in the doctor and like dentist genre. So basically, he would call businesses and see if they were looking to sell their business. Okay. Now, technology's changed a lot. So we're going to be teaching you guys how to automate your outreach to these businesses, but we won't get into that today. He used to call businesses and say, hey, are you looking to sell your business? And they go, no, blah, 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 blah. He goes, okay, well, you're looking to expand your business because I know lenders that will help you expand your business. They'll help you pay for payroll. They'll help you pay for x-ray machines. They'll help you pay for new buildings or tenant improvements or whatever it is. And these businesses would say, yeah, actually, we do need capital. How many businesses need capital? Literally all of them.
Yeah.
And he found a lender that would pay him roughly 14 points on every loan that he landed. So if he landed let's say an x-ray machine that's a $300,000 loan that they need to borrow 300 grand from this company, he would get paid 14% on that 300 grand, which is how much money? $42,000 for landing one loan, right? And so what he did is he built an entire company out of this, and it got so big that about 7 years ago, he sold it for $1.1 billion. And so what he'll be doing is coming in and actually teaching people how to do this. Now, why is this so important now? Well, because SubTo students are out there buying businesses with creative finance. And what we'll be doing is teaching Gators to go out and fund those businesses with creative finance, not their own money, getting paid significant chunks of money so that when Gators are out there finding businesses that need funding, they can also go to SubTo students and go, hey, this business actually does want to sell on seller finance. Let me help you bridge that gap and get a connection fee. Or if SubTo students are out there saying, hey, I'm calling this business, they don't want to sell on seller finance, but they need an expansion loan, you can refer that over to Gators, and Gators can get the loan and give the SubTo students a kickback on that loan. So I'm trying to do both of these simultaneously so that they're actually helping each other do this in a very, very, very big way. So I actually have a training on this Saturday. I'm going to be doing an hour and 30-minute training specifically to this one thing. Let me get the link for it, actually. I might as well get the link. Hold on a second.
That's amazing, Grace.
I know. What are your thoughts on it?
That's freaking, like, there's no excuse, right? You could be, I know there's a bunch of SubTo people that's going to be playing both sides of that, right? There's a bunch of SubTo that are also Gators that's going to play both sides. But the good thing about it is you don't have to. You can squat up and make more by being able to do more.
Yeah, it should be really cool. I in my mind, I'm like, okay, what does, and think about the transaction coordinators too. The transaction coordinators will be helping run the loans.
Yeah.
I asked my mentor, who's going to be coming in and training on Gator 3.0, because that's not something I've ever really done. So I'm bringing him to the table to teach this. And I said, what's the biggest issue that you'll run into? And he goes, the problem is you'll end up doing so many loans that you lose track of the loans, because you don't just get paid on the first loan, you get paid on the payments. And so you basically create what he calls a drip. He calls a cash flow drip. So every time they make a payment on their $300,000 loan, you get a little trickle, right? And so he goes, it becomes a problem of tracking all of the loans that you end up doing. And essentially, this is one of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to be hiring a full-time person inside of Gator that just sits there and shows people how to go out and get this. Yeah, Braden says this is why your line of credit is so important. Well, you're not actually using a line of credit, but that's perfectly fine. We're actually bringing you the money. You don't even have to get a line of credit for Gator 3.0. So everybody that's already in Gator, this is training that you guys will get for free, which is cool. So, and we'll end up doing this every single week. It's kind of what we did with Alpha Gator. So what I did with Gator 2.0, a lot of people don't know what Gator 1, 2, and 3 are. I have 7 strategies of Gator that it will take me probably another 2 or 3 years to release them all. But Gator 1 is basically doing EMD loans, right? And doing small micro loans for people. And that's why the line of credit is good for that. Gator 2.0 is transactional lending, where you're doing double closes and things of that nature. And when I was developing Gator 2.0, I actually found a lender that brought in $300 million to the Gators. So the Gators don't have to build lines of credit. They just go, here's $300 million. use our money to go out and do double closes, DSCR loans, BRRRR loans, commercial loans, all this kind of stuff. And so we have got Gators that are making 30, 40 grand a month in recurring fees off of getting people to get loans from the $300 million company. That's Alpha Gator. We call that Alpha Gator. So Gator 2.0. And then Gator 3.0 is, I was going to teach people, okay, here's how you go land the loans with the businesses, and then also have the conversations with them to see if they're interested in buying, so you can refer them over to SubTo students. But then I was like, why don't I just bring a billionaire to the table and have him financially back all of these loans so that nobody inside of Gator has to actually go out and build, okay? They don't have to go out and build their own lines of credit. And so Sam says to me, he says, Gator just keeps getting better and better. Guys, I'm telling you, SubTo has barely even started. Gator has barely even started. Just watch how these both rise together and how they complement each other. And then the glue between them is the transaction coordination, okay? So inside of Gator as well, Abraham, Gray, and I decided, hey, why don't we just bring any type of weird loan that the Gators are running into? Why don't we just let the Gators just use our money and we'll do all the paperwork? So we've got like a done for you program inside of Gator, which is sick. So that happened. We're doing like 8 or 9 loans for Gators where we're funding the deals for them, giving them like 80% of the money with my money. And then we're doing all the paperwork and running the entire thing and vetting the deals and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys look in the side chat, there's a link. It's pacejmorby.com exclusive-live-training. I hate when my team does these stupid links. It's like, who's going to type that in? You know what I'm saying?
We don't type it in anyway.
Freak?
We copy and paste it.
Okay, guys, copy and paste that. That's so silly. My team, it's like, guys, it should be something like GatorBiteYourAss.com or something funny that people would actually remember, right? Yeah, so Heather says, that's just wild. You brought the bank to us. Well, actually, what I was doing in Gator 2.0, in the training in January, when I first started training Gator 2.0, I said, all right, well, I'm going to teach you guys how to go out and get a lending company. So Eddie, let me teach you. Can I teach you something? Have you ever heard me talk about myinvestorloan.com?
I'm going to say no, just so you can teach me.
This is okay. You're going to say no. Okay, myinvestorloan.com. I have talked about myinvestorloan.com maybe a dozen times in 2 years. Okay. And myinvestorloan.com, when people go, hey, where do I get hard money from? Myinvestorloan.com is not just a lender. It's actually a lender that I white labeled, and I created my own company name called myinvestorloan.com. That's not actually the name of the lender. And so when people go and apply for My Investor Loan, they actually are applying to a different lending company that I've white labeled. And now every time people do a loan inside of myinvestorloan.com, I get paid. My team told me we have not talked about myinvestorloan.com for over like 13 months. And I just got a check this month for $26,000 in referral fees from My Investor Loan. I haven't talked about it in 13 months. So basically, that's what Gator 2.0 is. Gator 2.0 is I brought all of that money to the table and I taught Gators how to white label DSCR loans. So think about everybody that's doing DSCR loans, everybody that's doing BRRRR strategy, everybody on the Bigger Pockets forum. We're just flooding and basically showing people like, hey, I'm a lender. Hey, I've got money. Hey, I've got money. What's the number one thing people Google when they start in real estate? Where does the money come from? Mm-hmm. And so what I was trying to solve with Gator is now all the Gators come in and answer that question. No more will anybody ask the question of where does the money come from? So like Heather Torres, for example, all she has to do is say TorresFamilyFunding.com, but she's essentially white labeling $300 million on my Alpha platform. It's not even my money, but I've brought it to them. I don't get paid on it. They do. And then on the business funding side, same thing. I brought literally $1 billion. I've brought $1 billion of somebody else's money to fund business loans for like x-ray machines, card things. We need vehicles. We need more uniforms. We need payroll. We need to revamp our whole entire lobby. Whatever a business needs, you will have access to capital to fund them in Gator 3.0. And as we teach you in Gator 3.0 how to reach out to these businesses, you will have access to all that money. You don't have to build lines of credit. You don't have to build credit yourself. You don't have to do any of that. You refer them to the platform. The platform does all the work, the underwriting, the funding, the paperwork, and you get kicked out a check every single month. Insane. It's insane. So anyway, I'm doing a training on it on Saturday, this coming Saturday. So guys, if I were you, I would sign up for it. And that's essentially, thank you for saying that, Heather. She says, you basically have brought the bank to us. If somebody says, what is Gator? Every time you've been to a real estate meetup, people are like, oh, that's a hard money lender. Oh my gosh. You know, like the hard money lender is like the ominous unicorn creature. It's like, now you get to go to a real estate meetup and go, yeah, what I have money. What do you need? I can fund your Ernest money. I can fund your double closes. I can fund your hard money loans. I can fund your refinances. I can fund your DSCR loans, your BRRRR loans, your commercial loans. I can fund your apartment building loans, your development loans. That's all Gator 2.0. And by the way, if your business needs funding for expansion, I can also get you a business loan. There's literally, by the end of Gator, there will be nobody on the planet you cannot fund and give money to inside of Gator.
It's wild, man.
And it's wild. And I forget. Sometimes it takes a long time. I've been working on Gator 3.0 since January of this year, and we're about to launch it. We're finishing out the platform, and so I'm going to do a training on it to let people know that it's coming. And so all the Gators that are already inside of Gator, guess what? This is the same thing with SubTo. When I release a new thing inside of SubTo, like zero down. If I'm in SubTo, but I'm not in Gator, do I have access to this? No. Think about this. I already do way too much inside of SubTo. I do way too much in Gator. If I mix those two, imagine what would end up happening. The confusion level would be overwhelming. So the vision was always, the deals get done inside of SubTo. The businesses get purchased in SubTo. Wholesaling, fixing and flipping, acquiring rentals, building massive wealth is inside of SubTo. Creative finance is inside of SubTo. And then when people need capital, they need access to capital. That's where Gator comes in. Okay. So I'll tell you, yeah, Fabian's like, oh yeah. And Pace also gives us a free website with Gator. Guys, there's the link. It's on the screen right now. It is a training I'm doing on Saturday this week. Okay. Jeffrey Long says, what about drug lords? Can you give, Vanessa Bai says, where can we join Gator? Don't join Gator. Just come and hang out with me on Saturday. Okay. Come and hang out with me on Saturday. The training is in the side chat. Okay. Relentless says, Pace, what the F are you talking about? That's freaking awesome, Pace, bringing so much value to the community. I think he's losing his mind. And he's
just typing so fast.
Ooh, this is cool. So she says, help me buy all the real estate in our local area. Mine is coming, several commercial buildings and businesses for sale. Only thing missing is a workforce. You know, that's one of the biggest, I'd love to talk to you about this, Julie. I'm trying to buy a lot more in Montana because I'll be spending my summers in Montana a lot more with like Jerry Norton Clan and doing a lot more community camps up there. But I'm trying to develop some apartment buildings up there. The challenge is we have to import labor from Arizona up to Montana in order to get anything done. And it's so hard because there's no affordable housing there. Therefore, families are not living there. It's a bunch of billionaires that live there. And then they have all these restaurants that shut down at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon because nobody's there to work. It's insane. Yeah, there you go. So Daniel says 2 teams helping each other. This is beautiful. That was always the vision. The vision was, SubTo dominating the industry in creative finance and cash. At this point, we're dominating cash as well. Bobby says, Pace, I've been watching so many videos of you last month. My wife is starting to get tired of you. I'm tired of me too. But you know what? I'm going to continue to show up. I'm going to continue to be, consistent. And even when I am tired of hearing my own voice, then I'm going to show up again tomorrow. Okay. Sarah says, I've got some designers for you in Pace and Kalispell. The challenge, Sarah, is even if you gave me the best design on the planet, Kalispell doesn't have anybody to actually build the design. Okay. Ryan Merce says, I'm signed up. So guys, come hang out with us on Saturday this week. There's the link in the side chat. Pace J Morby with a bunch of gobbledygook. Okay. My son says, does that guy ever stop talking because you are always playing on my computers? I'm sorry. So sorry.
I want to tell you, Pace, my daughter told me we were supposed to send you a message, but I told her you were doing the Creative Con, which congratulations, that was amazing this weekend. But she wanted to send you a message and say hello to you because she was like, every time I see you, she thinks it's live. And I watch so much of your stuff. So she's like, oh, Pace, hey, Pace. I'm like, no, that's not him, baby. We got it. She's like, so I wanted to make sure I send that message so I don't get in trouble with baby girl.
I love it. Hey, show us your girlfriend, Jasper. Show us that she's real. People on the side comments are like, there's no way Jasper has a girlfriend.
She's shy. She doesn't want to show up.
I know. We think she's cool though. We really like her. Dude, it's like 10 o'clock over there.
Yeah, I mean, I just finished training my VA, so I was like hopping in as soon as I finished.
I love it, dude. Jasper, how's your life been the last year and a half since you joined SubTo? Have you been a happy camper or what?
I think a happy camper overall, but I'm also like a stress camper. But I think that's good.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you've done a lot of deals, which is great. You've learned tremendous amount. Remember when you couldn't even get one deal done?
That was so crazy. I remember that was my first deal though. Like that was on the podcast.
Did you make $9,100 on that?
Yeah, it was like 91.
How do I remember better than you?
that frame you see, wait, right over there, that's the frame for the check.
That a boy. I was just gonna say when you do those first checks, you gotta print those and keep them, and then have the title company just wire them to you.
Yeah. So Tevin actually came up with that idea. He was like, I'm not gonna wire you the money. I'm gonna send you a check so that you can frame it because this first check is gonna be life-changing for you.
I love that. Hold on. There's a couple of people saying they can't find the link for Gator. First and foremost, you can always go to my Instagram stories and get the link over there, but I'll also come over to YouTube and let me pin the link. I can see the link, just so you know, in YouTube. I'm over here right now, dropping the link in directly, and I'm going to pin the link. And then that way you guys can find it easily. Everybody in YouTube, can you guys see the link? I'm getting people that are like, I can't find the link. Yeah, like Stephen King. Oh my gosh, bro. We got the king of horror. The king of horror in here is going to be hanging out with us. Thank you, Pace. I just subscribed to the free class. Love you, brother. Appreciate it. Here's how this will be different. A lot of times on my podcast, I just kind of free flow. I answer questions live. This will be more of a plan. Like, let me train you and give you like an hour, maybe an hour and a half with slides. Like, okay, then you do this, and then you do this, and then you do that. All day Thursday, not all day, but 6 hours I'll be spending with Giselle working on the slides and actually putting an actual training together for everybody for free. And so come in and hang out. I appreciate you guys tremendously. Yeah, this is cool. JB says, wow, SubTo Gator student here. You know, I really don't love when people call themselves students. I don't know why. Is that a weird thing? I like it when people are like, I'm a member of the community, but I get it. Maybe students like a traditional way of saying I get it. This is crazy. My best friend has been selling medical finance deals for 20 years. I've met 10 of his buddies over the years that do the same. Here's the challenge, okay, with this. And I looked at this as well. I looked at this thought process and this thought pattern, and I was like, okay, do I want to sell? Am I trying to sell just medical financing to people? No. Think about this. Think about all the companies that you'll interact with that actually want to sell and seller finance that are not a good fit for you funding them, right? Like you're actually going in there as a business owner rather than an employee of somebody else's business trying to sell their loans, right? A lot of these people will make like $200,000-$300,000 a year as a salesperson selling these loans. Guys, you are a business owner going in there and giving people financing to expand their business. And if they're not ready to expand their business, you have the opportunity to buy their business and collaborate with the SubTo community that is being trained on how to buy businesses with creative finance. It is insane what we are going to do over the next 24 months. Insane. You're not going in there going, hi, would you like a loan for your medical? It's like, no, you could literally call anybody, trucking company, name it, coffee shop, a pinata making shop. I don't care what the business is. Okay. Okay, hold on. This is interesting. Maybe the link is screwed up. Let's do this because I'm getting people. So Katie says, I've signed up for the webinar twice, but unable to find or join. So Katie, it's going to be hard to join a webinar that does not start until Saturday. Today is Monday. It will be happening this Saturday. So let's just double check and let's see what's going on. And I will go to the link for you and we'll present. And if there's something going on, I will tell my team they're a bunch of knuckleheads and we'll see if we can fix it. Okay. All right. Let's go full screen on this bad boy. All right. If I click on here and I copy and paste the link and I go to the live training, it says reserve my spot for this 100% live training. Okay, cool. I put in my information. There's my email and my cell phone number. Please don't text me unless you're Eddie Charger with a deal. It submits and it says, oh my gosh, congratulations. You are 100% complete. Your seat for Pace Morby's new training has reserved successfully. Where is it going to be? It's live on Zoom. It starts in 4 days, 14 hours, and it's going to be on this day at this time. Okay. Do this before the training. Step 1, please check your email to confirm your information so you don't miss it. This happens all the time. People, okay, this is the email you're going to be looking for. Gator Method with Pace Morby. Gator Method with Pace Morby confirmation. It's all on this page, guys. All on this page. So please, if you are having a hard time with it, the link doesn't start until, it doesn't work until Saturday. All right. So Eddie, before we wrap up for the night, you've got a lady that wants to sell their property for $6 million. Okay. You've got can you set that up for Thursday so I can call her live?
Yeah, I'm gonna set it up. As soon as I get off the phone with you, I'll set it up.
Okay, cool. Thursday, 5 p.m. Arizona time. Everybody that is inside of SubTo, I will be calling businesses and sellers live on Thursday evening at 5 p.m. just working deals with students. Jasper, do you have a lead for me to call?
I do, but I don't want you to call it because then you'll ruin it for me.
Why?
Because you're too good on the phones. So I'd rather not give it to you.
Oh, okay. You think that I'm too good on the phone, so she'll only want to talk to me instead of you following up?
Yes. So
Okay.
then next time when I call her, she's gonna be like, "Where is Pace?" And I'll be like, "Well,
This is honestly, Jasper, you've been in SubTo long enough to know this is actually a significant problem. And so what happens is people at the very beginning of all the seller calls I make for the students, I say, guys, just so you know, I will not do your follow-up, and your sellers are going to be calling and texting me and saying, why are you not following? Why is Pace not answering me? But don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to be doing a ton. I don't know if you guys watched my Loom this morning in the SubTo Facebook group, but I had a Loom I did where I just said, hey guys, I think I'm going to go to calling sellers live every day, 5 days a week for 2 to 3 hours, and doing it so everybody can do it with me. And Finance with Bonsal says, is the training on Saturday or Thursday? Okay, thank you. This tells you how the bandwidth of most people's minds is hard, because the training I'm doing on Thursday is with the SubTo community for a private SubTo community on Thursday. I am calling sellers on Thursday. If you are not in SubTo, you are not invited. I am very sorry. On Saturday, I am doing Gator 3.0 training, the one that I've given you the link to in the side comments multiple times. Okay, very different. Hopefully that makes sense. Jasper, you have a good deal that I could help you close? Come on, bro. Who needs to follow up when I can just close it on the phone?
So I will have it all the way up until the close, and I can let you call it. But I needed to do the follow-ups until then.
She's not ready to close right now?
No. So basically the situation, his father-in-law actually passed away, and the caretaker in the house is a squatter in the house. So he's in the process of trying to get that person out before he trying to sell it because
Bro, is this in New Jersey or New York?
no, not in it's in the Oklahoma market.
Bro, let me buy the house with the squatter in it. Like, what does he need to get the squatter out for?
Well, he already started the process when I got in touch with him. So
Okay. So why couldn't you just take it over? What, be like, do you really want to go through this and like go through all the legal expenses? Why not just hand it over to me? I'll buy the property.
honestly, I was like, if he's on it, maybe I'll just kind of wait till he's done with it and then just...
Come on, bro. Bro, time kills all deals, dog. Go call this guy and go, hey, what are your thoughts if I just take over the whole entire bull crap with the squatter? My partner says we're all about squatters right now.
Honestly, time does kill all deals. That's actually one of the questions I was going to ask, like, because I literally just got outbid on a deal because I waited on a deal.
That's what you're doing right now. Time kills deals, bro. Go call this guy tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I will. I just got in contact with him today, so I'll call him tomorrow. No worries.
Love it. Chris Chef says, bro, I can't wait for my call with Molly, Ashley, hopefully you as well. So just to give you guys some context to this, we did a community-wide training last week talking about bridging the gap between where you are and what you need in your business, utilizing the top tier TC community. And Chris Chef is doing a follow-up series tomorrow. It's private. It's me, Molly, Ashley, and Chris. Chris is making about $100,000 a month in Gator right now, and he wants to take it to like $500,000 a month in Gator, but he needs help. So we're showing him how to do that. That will be training I will release to SubTo and to Gator, both talking about how to bridge the gap. So just stay tuned for all of that stuff this coming week or so. Anyway, Eddie, I want to do a deal with you. Love you, brother. Appreciate you. Jasper, I don't know what it is about you, dude, but you're just freaking cool, dude.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you, bro. Let me call your seller. Bring this guy to me on Thursday. Hurry up and let's get this deal closed. Bye. Guys, thank you for being here on Get Creative. I never do this podcast on Monday nights, but it turns out that maybe you guys like it on Monday nights. Would you guys prefer I do this on Monday evenings right after Wholesale Hotline? Or do you guys enjoy doing this on Sundays? Let me know. It's hard on Sundays when I'm traveling and I'm in hotels. I don't love doing my podcast in a hotel. And because it's a live podcast, it really requires me to, have a good setup. People are saying Monday. What? Really? Dang, you're joking me. People actually want that. Nobody's said Sunday one time. Holy smokes. If I do it right after Wholesale Hotline, you guys would prefer that so that we're all together anyway, right? And we could just start talking about creative finance right after Wholesale Hotline. Okay. Mondays it is. The people have spoken. I will see you guys in SubTo and in Gator multiple times this week. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I will see SubTo tomorrow and SubTo Family Night. We also have a Morby Method training tomorrow with somebody who just did an amazing Morby Method deal. Me and Molly will be doing a training tomorrow. And then I'll be seeing you guys at SubTo Family Night tomorrow night. Appreciate you guys. Have a great night.